call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Freeholder Fantasia. Here. Freeholder Graham is absent. Freeholder Hertzberg.
Here.
Freeholder Patillo.
Here.
Freeholder Director Yardley. And let me just note for the record that this is the Freeholder meeting of April 10th, 2019 at 6 p.m.
Okay. Please stand. Moment of silence. And we'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I make a procedural request, sir?
Sure.
That you just say something after the moment of silence and before the Pledge of Allegiance, and we all know you're starting. I'm
Okay.
not trying to guess when you're about to start the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, okay.
At least I can't see you, so it's hard for me to guess.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, adequate notice as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 has been made by regular mail, such notice being submitted on April 5th, 2019, from the Administrative Center of the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald, New Jersey Sunday Herald, Star Ledger, WSUS Radio, WNNJ Radio. And is also posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for public announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with said act.
Executive session. Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Executive session.
Whereas the subject matters about to be discussed may be excluded from the public portion of the meeting by resolution of the Board of Chosen Freeholders as an exception to the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12 NB, and whereas it appears necessary for the Board of Chosen Freeholders to discuss such matters in executive session, now therefore be resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex, in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12 B and NJSA 10:4-13, that the board at this time enter into an executive session from which the public shall be excluded, and be it further resolved that the general nature of the subjects to be discussed relate to the following items authorized by NJSA 10:4-12 B as designated. Number 7, matters relating to litigation, negotiations, and the attorney-client privilege, opioid litigation, update on Mountain Creek Resort. Be it further resolved that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, or provided by law that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. And be it further resolved that upon the completion of the business for which the board has entered into the executive session, the board will reconvene and resume its meeting open to the public. Be it further resolved that the board expects to take formal action after returning from executive session, except, that's it, sorry.
Motion to adopt the executive session resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We will now in executive session. So you can stay, folks. We're going to adjourn from executive session.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are now back in public session. Proclamations, certifications, and presentations.
I guess I'm first. So the first proclamation will be for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I think here to accept that is Kaylee.
It's actually Sierra standing in for Kaylee. Good, how are you?
It's the very first one.
There we go. Okay. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month is intended to draw attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every community member of Sussex County. And whereas sexual assault affects women, children, men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds. Whereas in addition to the immediate physical and emotional costs, sexual assault may also have associated consequences of post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse, depression, homelessness, eating disorders, and suicide. And whereas sexual assault can be devastating not for only the survivors, but also for the family and friends of the survivor. And whereas no one organization, agency, or community can eliminate sexual assault on their own, but we can work together to educate our entire population about what can be done to prevent sexual assault, support survivors and their significant others, and increase support for agencies providing services to survivors. And whereas domestic abuse and sexual assault intervention services will join with other sexual assault service providers across the state of New Jersey and the nation in public awareness initiatives intended to generate greater public understanding of the issues surrounding sexual violence. And whereas the County Board of Chosen Freeholders strongly support the efforts of national, state, and local partners and every citizen to actively engage in public-private efforts to prevent sexual violence. And we will embrace the theme of I Ask, to empower our community to put the consent into practice in order to champion the power of asking in all circumstances and to demonstrate that consent is a healthy, normal, and necessary part of everyday interaction. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders join communities across the country in playing an active role to prevent sexual violence, along with the United States government and the state of New Jersey. We hereby proclaim April Sexual Assault Awareness Month. This is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You want to say something?
Yeah, just thank you so much. My name is Sierra Eggins. I'm the prevention educator with Daisy. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so we have different activities going on throughout the month. So thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you all next week at our event. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everything you guys did.
Next presentation will be
Other people on the way up.
Christy Young. Is she, anyone here from Jenny's house? No. Okay, so we'll do that then at your open house. All right? The next one is Wear Purple Day. April is Alcohol Awareness. Presenting Freeholder Fantasia. And accepting is Nick Lizzie.
Couldn't find any purple? I had two purple.
I wore my purple, see that? So
Thank you very much.
First, to just talk for a moment about Alcohol Awareness Month. April's Alcohol Awareness Month. Myself, being a middle school principal, I've started initiatives in my school for this month to really focus on alcohol abuse by our youth. And some of the facts are staggering. Excessive alcohol use results in 88,000 deaths per year in the United States, makes an enormous contribution to injuries and diverse physical and mental illness. Binge drinking is on the rise. Binge drinking is defined for women as consuming 4 or more drinks during a single occasion, and for men 5 or more. Recent surveys have detected increases in alcohol use, high-risk drinking, and alcohol use disorders, particularly among women, older adults, racial minorities, and socioeconomically disadvantaged. And underage drinking warrants additional community attention right now. The CDC reports that it results in 4,300 deaths per year, and that people ages 12 to 20 consume 11% of all the alcohol ingested in the United States. Drinking for the first time at age 15 or younger, you have a 4 times greater propensity of becoming addicted as an adult to alcohol. So our school has followed the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence. It's now facing addiction with NCADD, and this year's theme is Help for Today, Hope for Tomorrow. So I was really happy to be able to present this proclamation today on behalf of the county. Whereas alcohol is the most commonly used addictive substance in the United States, And whereas 1 in every 12 adults suffers from alcohol abuse or dependence, and more than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism or problem drinking. And whereas 100,000 persons die each year from alcohol-related causes, drunk driving, crashes, other accidents, falls, fires, alcohol-related homicides, and suicides. And whereas teens who start drinking before the age of 14 are 7 times more likely to develop alcohol problems by the time they are 21. And whereas the month of April has been recognized as Alcohol Awareness Month by NCADD, the founder and sponsor of Alcohol Awareness Month. And whereas the color that NCADD uses is in the purple and violet family, a color that is similar to the amethyst. Here's the reasoning behind the amethyst color. Amethyst is the most beautiful and valuable form of quartz. The word amethyst stems from a Greek word meaning without drunkenness. For in ancient times, it was believed that anyone carrying or wearing this stone could not become intoxicated. Anyone who displays the amethyst color announces that they know someone whose life has been improved through alcoholism treatment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of Sussex County do hereby proclaim that April is Alcohol Awareness Month, and Friday, April 12th, 2019 is Wear Purple Day. By order of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, Herbert Yardley, Freeholder Director, Sylvia Patillo, Deputy Freeholder Director, Dawn Fantasia, Joshua Hertzberg, and George Graham, Freeholders.
Sure. Thank you. This is the, this is, I think, the 4th or 5th year we've done Wear Purple Day in the county. It was begun by the New Jersey Association of County Alliance Coordinators, of which I'm the president, and I represent Sussex County as the Municipal Alliance Coordinator. And it's just to bring awareness out and to show our support for Alcohol Awareness Month on one day of the month, and that's why we chose Friday, April 12th as Wear Purple Day, and we do it every year. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have Eagle Scout Court of Honors for Joshua Kitzer and Christopher Schindler. Freeholder Patillo will present these proclamations at a later date of the ceremony. The next one is Nicole Medina, Honey Princess, presented by Freeholder Director.
And if it's all right, I do have some bags for the board.
Sure. Okay.
I can hand these out.
Go right ahead.
Inside is just a snapshot of New Jersey beekeeping, a honey recipe brochure, and if the public would like some, I also have some available. So those include honey recipes for around a year. There's some honey candy here as well, and lip balm made here in Sussex County, right in Hamburg. You're welcome. And then I have two.
Come on, stand next to me or to read our proclamations. What a pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And whereas the American Beekeeping Federation selected Nicole Medina of Green Township, Sussex County, as the 2019 American Honey Princess, and whereas Nicole previously served as the 2018 New Jersey Honey Queen and the 2017 Sussex County Honey Queen, and was selected as the 2019 American Honey Princess based upon her skills in marketing, promoting, public speaking, and writing. It's quite an accomplishment. Whereas Nicole has represented New Jersey beekeepers, her family, friends, Sussex County with distinction and honor, as evidenced by this award. And whereas Nicole will travel throughout the United States promoting American beekeeping industry by giving school, legislative, and community presentations. Maybe you can come and do one for us.
Of course, I would love to.
Television presentations, television, radio, and newspaper interviews, and working at festivals, farmers markets, fairs, including the New Jersey State Fair. And whereas Sussex County is proud of Nicole's accomplishments and achievements and her academic success in business administration at Sussex County Community College, and wishes her continued success in her future endeavors. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders do hereby extend their congratulations and appreciations to Nicole Medina on her accomplishments and representation of Sussex County and the state of New Jersey. 2019 American Honey Princess, by order of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, Herb Yardley, Freeholder Director, Sylvia Patello, Deputy Director, Dawn Fantasia, Freeholder, Josh Hertzberg, Freeholder, George Graham, Freeholder. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Now, I think something we forget at times how important bees are to production of crops in the country and the role they play. So I should not telling you because you're written. Yeah, but thank you. Congratulations. Picture. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Step over here.
We have a Facebook page for those who would like to follow us on the inside, and it talks all about my journey in Queen Hannah from Wisconsin. So if you want to follow us and see where we're buzzing across America, it's one great way.
Okay, so how do you want this? Like this? Proclamation? No. Why don't we take one of your, can we get the pamphlet in there a little bit? Some advertising? There we go. We'll kind of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Herb, we have one more picture.
What's that?
Maybe get one
Oh,
more.
Okay, one more picture. We have that the right way we have that. There we go.
There you go.
May I pass these out? I don't want to charge you.
Totally fine, totally fine.
Paper dress.
And might you please pass these down for me? That's fine.
Okay, next one would be National Telecommunications Fee presented by Freeholder Fantasia and accepting is Mark Rosat and Andrea Wierenberg. Come on up.
Proclamation. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas where an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, emergency medical technicians, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Sussex County Sheriff's 911 Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Sussex County Sheriff's 911 Communications Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders declares the week of April 14th through the 20th, 2019 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Sussex County, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. By order of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, Herbert Yardley, Freeholder Director, Sylvia Patillo, Deputy Freeholder Director, Dawn Fantasia, Joshua Hertzberg, and George Graham, Freeholders. I'm not a very good speaker.
in person. I do better over the phone. But I'd like to say thank you for acknowledging us all. We don't get much acknowledgement because we're the ones on the phone. Nobody sees us. So the police officers, the EMS, and the firemen all get the acknowledgement. So to get this is truly an honor, and I am glad to accept this on behalf of all my coworkers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just need a motion to adopt the proclamations. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, accept. Presentations, Dr. Connolly. Dr. Connolly is here as part of our monthly program we have coming, and just kind of giving us an update of things that are happening.
Thank you very much. Freeholder Director Yardley and other members of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. My name is John Connolly, New Jersey. I first want to congratulate Nicole Medina. She is a sophomore at Sussex County Community College. She is obviously an entrepreneur, and it's very exciting, and we are proud to have you as a member of our community. And we're Sussex County Community College, as Freeholder Director Yardley said, what I wish to do this evening is just simply update you on some of the great things that are happening at the college, particularly those things coming up yet for the month of April. But in addition, the opportunity to answer any questions that you folks might have. I think that's a useful opportunity. So again, I will say that we continue to try to deliver our mission at Sussex County Community College by virtue of delivering academic programs that are relevant. It's absolutely essential that we continue to move quickly. Many four-year institutions, universities, they're very large and they're not able to keep up with the rapid change of what's happening in the economy currently. Sussex County Community College, like many of the community colleges, we are small enough, our bureaucracies are thin enough, so that we are much more nimble and we can adjust and adapt. One of the things that we really need to do at Sussex County Community College, we're very proud of the nursing program that we can offer as a result of our partnership with Passaic County Community College. We really need to do more in the health sciences. And so we are right now very close to launching what is known as a Health Information and Management program. It will be primarily delivered online, but this Health Information Management program is delivering an incredibly important part of what is needed in healthcare today. As you folks know, everything relies on insurance. Patients are cared for, they are then diagnosed, and those diagnoses are loaded into a coding system. And that coding system is the basis by which insurance is filed, and then physicians and healthcare providers are reimbursed. You need to have the right people who know how to do the coding. You also need health information managers who know the coding to be able to manage this stuff all throughout and do it correctly. Complicated, it's not easy to keep up with it, and frankly, there are just simply not enough people doing it. And so we are going to be offering a health information management system if all goes well. We're very close to being able to launch that, and so we're pleased to be introducing that. In addition, we used to have a medical assisting program. This medical assisting program was a non-credit program. That fact simply had really significant deficiencies. If you are offering a medical assisting license, it is certified by passage of this licensure exam, but there is no college degree. It is really only a half-baked opportunity. And so we are relaunching our medical assisting program. It will be accredited by KHEP, by all rights, and it will be a 4-credit applied associate of science degree. So we're looking forward to that. That one is lagging a little bit further behind health information management, but we're hoping to do that. In addition, as you folks know, sometimes soft tissue is an important part of rehabilitation. So properly administered massage therapy is important, and frankly, there are plenty of massage therapists, but not always the ones who actually know what they're doing. And that is going to be an important thing for us to do. And so we want to make sure that we're providing that opportunity for those who wish to engage in that kind of opportunity for healing and rehabilitation. And so we expect to be offering that program. Electrolysis is thought of as an esthetician sort of a thing. That may very well be true, but it also is really required for those folks with endocrine disorders of various kinds. And so this really falls in the domain of healthcare, and we're hoping to be offering that. On the technical trade side of things, we have two things that we're very proud to be launching as soon as we can. One of those is an electrical line worker program. You folks may be aware that there is a shortage of folks who are able to climb telephone poles, be up in bucket trucks, and take care of electrical lines when we have storms. These folks get paid a lot of money. The skill is very high, and it's incredibly dangerous. It's not dangerous if you know what you're doing, but it's really dangerous if you don't. So it's one of those things, you never mess around with a chainsaw, because you only have to make one mistake with a chainsaw for it to be life-changing. Same is true in electrical line work, and so doing that right. We are hoping to offer an applied associate degree plus a certificate for electrical line workers, getting them up to speed. This is the result of a partnership that we are developing with Sussex Rural Electric, and we are anticipating being able to do that also in partnership with Wallkill High School. So we're very pleased about that. Very important trade and very, very high earning capacity for folks who get into that trade. Thor Labs, very important member of our community business-wise. They knocked on our door once, and we are delivering a machine tool program. We're doing that now. We currently have 8 students in that program. The vast majority of them are restarting their lives. It's an incredibly impressive thing for me to have seen. It's really moving what these folks have been through in their lives and say, I want a different life, and they're taking that by their hands and putting their life and their destiny into their own hands, not into somebody else's and up to luck. In addition, they knocked on our door a second time, Thor Labs did. They really need an optical technology program, and so we are working with them right now in the curriculum to be able to deliver that. So that's a lot, and these are just the new programs that we're hoping to get up so that this institution can be delivering the kind of training and educational opportunity that the county really needs. People who need to have the right skills, and we want to be able to provide that. Along the way, you have to have students who will stay the whole way so that they will finish a degree. There are lots of reasons that they don't. But the biggest thing, as you would imagine, if a student does not have a full sense of belonging, they fall on the side. They feel like they are part of something significant, they stay, and they stay to complete a degree. And just going to classes sometimes is not enough. In fact, most of the time it's not enough motivation. Okay? A degree just seems far out. You need the social capital that students sort of require to be able to stay on track. This, our veterans program, of course, we're proud of that because they really have a philosophy there of essentially no person left behind. They take that very seriously. And so completion rates in our veterans program are very high. But in addition, you have the same kind of culture in athletics. Basketball, soccer, softball, baseball, and now lacrosse. I'm pleased to say that we do have a lacrosse team. We're struggling at the moment, but it's a brand new program. I'm just overjoyed we have so many playing. We have 18 players right now, and we thought we were going to have 12. And we're just very pleased about that. If you drive on Mill Street, you will see the lacrosse field now is looking green, and it's got a line, and we've got the lacrosse goals out there, so it's beautiful. I know that our McGuire project, and this is where we wish to have our technical programs in automotive and in welding and construction trades, also is going to be the presumptive future home of our machine tool program. Auto body, our partnership with Sussex Tech, they really want us to do an auto body program because they could never do it. And we've got the equipment just sort of sitting there, so we have to overcome some of the hurdles to make that happen. And there's another program, maybe two, we think we can fit over there. Where is that project? Basically, it's in neutral right now. We're waiting. We anticipate being able to purchase that property when we have environmental clearance. We don't have anything new to report on that. And the certificate of occupancy is achieved. We have automotive and welding happening in there already right now. So that's really good update there. Our radio station, some things to report. I think that the radio station is one of the most high-profile things that we do, cruising with the oldies and all the rest of it. Lots of folks really enjoy it. We hear all the time about that. And I would say that the advertising now is completely done by the students. Before it was not. So this is an opportunity for our students to learn in the real world, and we're pleased about that. And we're going to be creeping into programming that the students will be responsible for too. So, and we have a new transmission tower that's a bit stronger than before. This month is Community College Month in April, and so we've got some things that are going on there. The most significant of which I would just say that Community College Day is April 18th. Folks have time to make it to that. We hope that you will. There's going to be a series of speakers and tours to show off what we're doing and how we're fulfilling our mission. I have many other things, including a greenhouse, a ribbon cutting ceremony. We're having a technology showcase that has to do with how we are going to be embracing a future of technology and how education is delivered by technology. We need to select some of the best technology for us moving forward. On April 27th, we have an agricultural conference. It's the first time we've ever done that. We're doing some of that in collaboration with the Rutgers Cooperative Extension, and we're very pleased about that. Right now, we've got also, on the weekend, we have had some workshops, agricultural workshops. They've been incredibly well attended. First workshop, we expected we might have 12 people, 48 registered. So it's been an extraordinary thing in our agriculture program. We're very, very pleased about that. At this point, I will be quiet because that's a lot to digest, and I've used up more time than I should.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Byron Chief Tabata and Sparta Chief Spilletta. I have it.
Chief Stiletto couldn't make it. Pete Tabita, Chief of Byron Township Police Department, thank you for having me back again. Mr. Pop, how are you? I brought your flyers up there. I don't know if I did that last year or not, but we are doing our food drive again. Cram the Cruiser. We have every police department in the county, including the Sheriff's Office and New York State Police, are helping us and going to almost every grocery store in the county, and we'll be set up on Saturday, April 20th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. In all the parking lots of the stores to collect food donations. We collect all those donations, and on Monday, we bring them up to the Sussex County Social Services Food Pantry, and they are distributed throughout the county. The majority, actually pretty much all the food, stays within the county for our residents that are in need. I'm sure Carol, if she would come in, would talk to you about the statistics about how many people actually participate in the program, but there is quite a number of people in the county that benefit from this program. I know our Byram Food Bank at our Methodist Church actually got food from the food bank to give to our Byram residents, so it's kind of good that it's all staying in the community. So I want to thank you again for your support. Hopefully we can get the word out there. Whatever social media you have, please put it on. The PDs have already started doing that, and I got my first load of donations yesterday already, and we're not supposed to start quite until the 13th, so. A little bit out of breath because I had to run up here because I thought it started at 7:30 and it's getting to be a little springtime, I'm not used to it. But greatly appreciate all your support. The food pantry is a wonderful thing. It is amazing what all those volunteers are able to do, and we are honored to be a part of that, to be able to collect this stuff and then be able to drive it up there and help out everybody else in the county. It's nice. That's a good part of the job where we get to do a good thing without irritating people or seeing people with their worst moments. This is the third year that we're doing it countywide, and we've actually picked up some significant sponsors along the way. Econopack, the Weibel family from Sparta, Nielsen Auto Group actually hooks us up with pickup trucks so we can haul the stuff from where we collected up there. The first year that we started it in Byram, actually, we have a ATV trailer that I found out is only rated for 1,000 pounds. We made it from Byram to Simon Peter, and the tire blew out. So we learned from that. All the departments chipping in. Andover has a trailer. The Sheriff's Department uses their trailer for some of the bigger things. So it's really growing. Mohawk House Steve Stroh can't say enough about him. He sets up a collection point down by the boardwalk and actually collects in the store. In Byram, we have RDA Fitness that does collections, and we've enlisted one of our daycares now too, so they'll be participating in it. So it's slowly growing each year, and we're looking forward to hopefully having a great year, and appreciate your support.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Okay. Public hearings, final adoption ordinance 2019-01.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 16-03, providing for the undertaking of 2016 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Sussex County Community College, heretofore finally adopted by the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, on May 11, 2016, to amend the description thereon.
Okay, do I have a motion that the public hearing be open? So moved. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Okay. Is there anyone present that would like to be heard regarding this ordinance?
We'll get rid of Warner Township. I wish that Ford will finally start facing reality. You're taxing the people out of this county. I have one neighbor presently packing to go to Kentucky, and another leaving by, they hope, July to South Carolina. They can't afford the taxes. We can't afford the taxes. These funds were not spent on what they were appropriated for. They, I guess, came in low. It's time to give the money back to the taxpayers. Stop wasting the money on monuments for individuals. We can't afford it. I see there's three. I hope my comments will be for all three. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address, speak on this ordinance?
And pens on the floor.
There's another pen on the shelf. Just one second, please. I have to have. I'm
Neil,
sorry, Mr.
Neil,
McKay. Just one
wait a
second.
minute, go through.
Did anyone take the sign-in sheet by mistake? Thank you.
PhD.
That's one way to avoid comments. Neil Kenny, Green Township. I have a bunch of things I want to talk about, but I just want to talk, the first item we're talking about is capital improvement. There are 4 resolutions, A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, however you look at it. And for 2012, 2015, and 2016, 2012, 15, and 16, you want to amend, well, I don't know how much money you're amending. You know, and if I gave you money in 2012 and you didn't use it, well, maybe you could use that towards the $3 million you're asking for in 2019. So I don't know, it's very ambiguous as to what this money's even for. Capital improvement, but what capital improvements? You know, is that new office furniture for the dean? Or is that a new building for students? So I don't like the ambiguous nature of it, that. And the fact that 2012, 15, and 16, there's no amount spoken about how many you paid, because the only amount you talk about is in 2019, you're talking about the $3 million. So I'm kind of confused about what the real deal is there. It's not clear from the agenda.
These are just the titles of those ordinances. The full body is available.
But there's 4 ordinances.
Yeah, they are, when we put the ordinance, the agenda online, if you hit on that ordinance, it will bring up the entire ordinance so that you can see what all these things are for.
It will be specific.
Specific,
What money
it is
is
specific,
and amounts.
and the amount.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
There's also a public hearing on the Board of School Estimate by which the college says we have X number of dollars we haven't used, and if I explain this incorrectly, somebody will, I'm sure will correct me. And we'd like to take that money because the state provides I think half of it, and we'd like to use it for a certain project such as air conditioning, things of that nature, to repair the buildings.
Okay, well, the problem I have with that is when Freeholder Fantasia said there were no sacred cows, you said that at the last meeting, and I hope you have truth to that, and you and Hertzberg had said that you want to move the agenda in a different direction as far as economics is concerned. If I gave you a budget in 2012, and you're going to run a bond program that the taxpayers ultimately holding the bag on, okay? I should be pretty accurate as to what the money is, and if I have this leftover money, then that should be returned to the county, and then we rebid it again. But that's not spelled out. So I think that what Mr. Gettle was talking about is like the taxpayers, like, I'm out of Dodge. I can't afford it. I mean, I'm 70, and I don't think I'm the youngest kid in this place, but I know I'm not the oldest. So I don't know where the money's going. The other issues I'll come back with, but I just find it rather ambiguous. And you know what happens to the guy who doesn't have a computer? Does he just play a guessing game? You know, my computer at home, you could ask my wife, if she'll come up here. If there's a hole in it, it's probably because I shot it, because I don't have the knowledge of technology. I have grandchildren to get to use the phone. So I'm just saying, it seems that you're carrying something on for over half a decade. And I don't know where the money is. You know, and if I tell you I need a dozen donuts, why are you giving me money to buy 2 dozen and then telling me that you take that other dozen to apply it to something else? It makes no sense. It should be pay as you go, not pay as you go and put the rest in your pocket for something else later. Because if you give me $500, I'll have a great party. If you give me $50, I'll have a great party. Your girls may be different, but I'll always opt for the 500, and that's what it seems to me is being done with this one without a clear explanation. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board on this ordinance? Seeing none, public hearing will be closed. I have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Can I comment at all?
Sure.
I want to make a comment on the change of the appropriations. Again, Freeholder Hertzberg and I have been here for a few months, but being a member of the Board of School Estimate for the college, I was not thrilled prior to joining this board to see some of the expenses that were scheduled. For instance, the turf fields, there are needs and there are wants, and I felt something like that was nice, but it was a want. Turf fields are not a need. However, to be able to have the opportunity to change those funds use, and instead of turf fields, we're repairing heating and ventilation systems for buildings that the students are in, that's a need because a need is breathing. So for me, that's how I reconciled myself on the Board of School Estimate to see what those purchases were, how funds were being requested to be changed for what my perception was as legitimate needs for the facility.
Anyone else on? Motion to authorize the clerk to advertise this ordinance as finally adopted.
Excuse me, the director, we just need to take the vote on the adoption.
Oh, okay. So, motion to adopt.
So moved. Second?
I'm sorry, roll call vote.
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Motion to authorize the clerk to advertise this ordinance as fully adopted and also to post the same on the bulletin board in the lobby of the county center.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Final adoption, ordinance 2019-02.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 15-02, providing for the undertaking of 2015 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Sussex County Community College, heretofore finally adopted by the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, on May 27, 2015, to amend the description therein.
Okay. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is anyone present wishing to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, a motion that the public hearing be closed.
Make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is closed. Any comments before we make the motion to fully adopt? Okay, motion that this ordinance be fully adopted? No?
So, second.
Okay, roll call.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Josh.
Josh.
Oh, okay. Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Final, okay, motion authorize the clerk to advertise the services fully adopted and also post same in bulletin board in the lobby of the county administration, city center. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Final adoption, ordinance 2019-03.
Sorry,
What, go ahead.
I was going to read the title, sorry.
Oh. Okay. So,
Bond ordinance, amending bond ordinance number 12-04, providing for the undertaking of a 2011 to 2012 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Sussex County Community College, heretofore finally adopted by the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, on May 23, 2012, to amend the description therein.
motion that the public hearing be open.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, a motion that the public hearing be closed.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion that this ordinance be, any comment? Motion that this ordinance be finally adopted. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote.
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Motion that authorizes the clerk to advertise this ordinance to be adopted and also post the same on the bulletin board in the lobby of the county administrative center. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public session from the floor.
Comments are limited to 5 minutes or less and must only address issues regarding agenda items. Please state your name and print your name and municipality on the sign-in sheet, and please speak loud and clear.
Okay, motion to open the floor for public comment.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion, floor is open to public comment. Anyone wish to discuss, please?
On the subject of the sanctuary state, there's only one place these legal aliens belong. That's back in their country of origin. They don't belong here, they have no right to be here, get them out of here. Do everything we can to turn them in and get them back. I have personal involvement in this. When my wife immigrated to the Philippines, she went to the embassy and followed all the procedures. She had to have a medical exam at a hospital selected by the embassy. She had to go through a federal police study. They found somebody the same name wanted another province for murder. Her brothers, the godfather for her brother's children happened to be a police officer in their own town. Their police department wrote to the federal authorities that they knew her. She went through every single step that was required. I had to sign an affidavit of support that she would not go on welfare until she got here. She got her visa. She's now a U.S. citizen. The people who just invade our country should be thrown out. There's no excuse for them to be here. Yeah, where I'm going. The myth that there is no way these illegal aliens get their citizenship should be thrown out. There is a very legal way they can get their American citizenship. They voluntarily go back to their country of origin and they file for a visa. Then they can come here and get their citizenship. There is no excuse for protecting them, no excuse for giving them driver's licenses, there's no excuse for anything. Another item on the agenda is $3 million bond. You're raising our taxes $1.78 million. We can't afford it. Throw that $3 million bond out and lower our taxes. Thank you.
John Snyder, Sanderston. I have a question about the bond that was just amended. We need to do
That pen doesn't want to stay.
how many years were those bonds for? Are they 10, 15, 20 years? Because I assume the country's paying so much per year to maintain these bonds, right? Yes?
The useful life is calculated based upon the variety of improvements that are slated for that, yes.
I'm just wondering how many more does the college have, these bonds that weren't, the money wasn't spent for what it was originally bonded for, and this money's sitting someplace, and maybe other agencies in the county too. Could we do an audit to find out if the bonded monies were actually spent for what they were intended, or are they just sitting in a trust? Is that reasonable?
Well, you're talking about the county. We don't have, as far as I know, whatever we approve gets approved here, and then it gets spent, and then after a period of
But
time.
we're talking about money that apparently wasn't spent. That was whatever the original intent was. If we're going back to 2012, that we had the county college and agency that's got, I don't know, I'll make up a number, $10 million sitting in an account someplace. And maybe they do a better use for it now, but I'm just wondering, is there more of this money sitting around that we're maintaining? I'm sure you're paying something for these bonds in the budget, and how many agencies do we have that have this power to come to you, have a bond, and then most of us don't know if money ever got spent?
Typically, what the process is that the money is not borrowed until such time that there's a call for the money to be expended. So it would be authorized but not funded, and the county treasury office goes through a process of sizing what our temporary financing is in notes on an annual basis. So the purpose behind that is there may be an authorization, but the full amount may not be needed at a particular time, particularly for construction projects where there may be an authorization for several $1 million, but only a few $100,000 are needed for design, fund design. So the full $3 million is not borrowed at that time. That's to address the issue of carrying costs and interest that the county should not bear, and as a result, the Treasury keeps track of those things.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Back in Penny Green Township, yeah, that whole sanctuary thing, it's a one word, no. Sanctuary State. Thank you for that. My daughter, who serves in the United States Navy Reserve as a lieutenant, is also a merchant captain who's been through the continent, who's been in all these other parts of the world. She married a man who was from South Africa, not an Afrikaner, but he was an Englishman. And it cost them thousands of dollars, an aggravation, to finally get his green card and finally get he's now a naturalized citizen, so he tells me I can't get rid of him. But having said that, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And just look at the politics behind what the sanctuary cities are. I do have two other concerns. I see one of them is on the agenda, and it's that a resolution, consent agenda, Resolution A, authorizing $76,500 for Dr. Gannon as a professional, as a medical director for the inmates within the jail. That's $8,500 a month. That's pretty good money. Last week at the local Tea Party meeting, Sheriff Strauss spoke, and he talked about the medical course, and he spoke about that, and it made sense what he was talking about. But one of the things he said was like, we just get them over to the hospital, then it's on their insurance or whatever else, it's on somebody else, it's not on the county. And I'm just wondering, what does the medical director do? I mean, can I get that job?
Medical degree?
What does he do?
Neil, you have a medical degree?
He what?
You have a medical degree.
I get one. I don't get one. But what I'm getting at is the director for inmate, what does he do? So you have a cough? That's a lot of money. And that money doesn't necessarily, look, if the sheriff said he had it under control, which he seemed to, anybody ever said at that meeting knows what I'm talking about, he seemed to state that we're trying not to incur those costs. So if somebody shows up, gets arrested for whatever, and they have, they need a chemo or something, if they keep them in jail, they're gonna eat that. But if they put them over to the hospital, then they're not eating that. And they also have people with those medical conditions, the bracelet that they can put on them so they can get their medical attention at home. That's a lot of money for a doctor that I don't know what his specialty is, other than making money.
That's, by the way, that's $76,000 for the 7 months. It's not $76,000 a month.
No, I know that. I said that. It's $76,000 for 9 months. That'd be a great pregnancy, $8,500 a month. And again, it's nice work. So, from what the sheriff said, he wasn't here at the Tea Party meeting, they seem to have had a better control on that, and you've spoken with the sheriff about how to deal with that. This is a lot of money for some guy to come in and say you have a fever.
Some of it's out of their control, though. If one of the local departments drops a guy off at the jail and they discover the illness there, it's on the county.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to go case by case?
Well, that's what this is. It says not to exceed 76.5. So what that is it's an estimation of what's been paid out, let's say, over the past 3 years. And obviously, the goal is to not hit that, but it's saying that it won't be authorized beyond that amount. But that's not a set monthly amount, so you take that number and divide it.
You have to budget, so you have to.
Maybe I'm a little jaded. I've been around a little long. But if I'm authorized to 76.5 with 80 or 20, I guarantee I'll get to whatever it is. I'll get to that amount. Legitimately, illegitimately, okay? And then the other thing, I don't know if it's on the agenda, and if it isn't, please tell me and we'll address it. The whole question was in the paper about joining this lawsuit against the farm people. Can I address that? Because I didn't see it on the agenda. Okay, well, the reason again, and I'm not taking a shot at you, Mr. Kelly, but the whole idea that you have these big mega firms going after this, they're not doing it pro bono, okay? And there were all going to be some incidental fees. Well, there was what? Was it 500,000 incidental fees to try to recover the money from the solar system? So incidental fees means nothing to me. And I can't tell the mortgage company, oh, I'll give you an incidental mortgage payment. It doesn't work that way. So again, these big firms are chasing the money. And I would say that if we are to invest as a county in the incidental fees, then we should have some sort of guarantee on a percentage of all recovered funds that will be returned to the county.
1 minute.
Thank you. Because to me, having somebody who was, and it still has residual effects medically as an exposure to Agent Orange, I got jacked on the Agent Orange settlements, and a lot of lawyers got a lot of money. So when the big fish is going after this, it's about the money, it's not about the county. And the last thing I want to say is I think, Mr. Yardley, you need to, I don't know how to say it sensitively, but you need to address the issue of when you were speaking to the honey princess, that you were speaking about the product honey and not calling her honey to avoid any confirmation from the hedge.
Let me ask you a question. I gotta ask you a question. Was the reading better?
Well, the reading was okay.
Okay, wait. At least from the first time you made a comment about my reading ability, it got better. So next time I will approve.
It's not reading her. It's addressing a young woman that's honey. We know you're old now, and you're saved by the bell. Come on.
I have counsel, I want to ask a question. If we were to move forward with the opioid litigation, the contract would be public information, is that correct or not?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you'll get a copy, and maybe I'll personally give you a signature on there.
I'm gonna hold it.
Give it to you.
I'll witness
But
it.
should we move forward, you get a copy of that contract.
It's not a matter of moving forward. It's a matter of if they're going to get $100 billion, we should get a guaranteed percent of return. And I don't mean 1% and they get 99.
You will see, if we move forward, everyone will see what it is in that contract. So, look, you have a conservative board, we're a conservative board. We're not going to take some action that is not going to, that's going to put us where we don't want to go.
We're watching it.
Okay, anyone else wish to address the board? You're going to have to be really good after him. A lot of pressure.
Kate DeStassi. I'm very interested. Township.
I want you to please sign your name. I'm sorry, could you sign in on this signature? Thank you.
As soon as I find that roaming pen, I wanted to thank Mr. Yardley and Mrs. Patillo for helping to support my group from Vernon. I represent the Citizens Against the Illegal Dumping that has been going on throughout Sussex County. And Mrs. Patillo has been extremely helpful in helping us to get the notoriety that we need. We're going to be holding a meeting in Vernon on May 16th. And we are inviting you as the freeholders to come, as well as all the mayors and the councils of the towns across the county. And the purpose for this meeting will be to show how we as a group came together in January of this year and in 3 months brought Vernon into the limelight and got some movement on the bill that's in front of the Senate right now to have the illegal dumping stopped and finally criminalized. So we are going to be offering this meeting because towns have been contacting us, asking us, well, how'd you do what you did? And so after speaking with Mrs. Patillo, we determined that it would be best to hold a county-wide meeting and show everybody how we created our advocacy group and accomplished what we did. So we invite anybody who wants to come. There will be notices in the newspaper about the meeting, and it will be held at Mountain Creek in Vernon on, as I said, on May 16th. So right now, we've gotten this into the court system. We're waiting for 2 court dates in May. The DEP is suing the gentleman in one court, and the Vernon Township is suing him in another court. And once those determinations are met, our next goal is to process the bill that's in front of the Senate to get it approved for the whole state. And as an I'm tripping over that word tonight, advocacy group, that is our goal. We want to make New Jersey back to being the garden state again instead of the dumping state of all the toxic stuff that's coming from New York. And unless we stop these dirt brokers from bringing this in, we're going to become known like all the other toxic sites in the United States for our toxicity instead of our beauty. So again, I want to thank you, particularly Sylvia. You've been very, very supportive, and we really appreciate it. And you too, Mr. York.
And
thank you.
Send the information to our clerk.
Yes, we will, and it's also going to be in the newspaper with all the information, time and date and location and everything else. We're working with the Herald on that right now to get that out. So again, thank you.
But Becky, you mentioned that in 3 months, you had formed a group, and in 3 months, you were able to make all of these changes. But truthfully, it was years with you and your husband. Is that not correct?
My husband and I, because it happened across the street from us, spent 10 years trying to get this state to listen to us what was going on. And they would, all the different departments, name a number or a name up, and we'll tell you we've been there, done that, and they just ignored us. Until we finally, 5 years ago, got Sussex County Soil Conservation to listen to us. And when they came out and actually went to the site, which nobody did prior to that, they said, you're absolutely right. And that started our court sequence. We've been through the courts now 4 or 5 trials. He's been found guilty already, and but now it's a bigger and better system, because now it's in the federal court. It's no longer.
It was all the documentation you had over those 10 years that enabled you in 3 months to do what you did with all the people and you
It
were
was
better
a
here.
team effort.
And I commend all of you, because I know you worked so hard and you just weren't getting anywhere.
24 hours a
Didn't
day
give up.
almost, it seems like.
You just
Well,
didn't give up.
we got our environmental committee, we got our town council, we got our mayor, we got the chief of police, and the entire police department was super supportive. You and 6 of us. There are 6 citizens in the town of Vernon who have come together. And we just, we did rallies, we did everything we could possibly do. But the important part was that we had our town behind us, and they worked with us. And it exploded it out of our little community into now it's a statewide. Senator Orho and Gottheimer, I mean, they're all fighting for us now. And it's just changed the whole thing. So from being 2 little homeowners, my husband and I, trying to deal with this situation, to now we have federal senators that are on our team and fighting with us. So and not that it's so nice, but after what the thousands of dollars that my husband and I spent personally, we now have at least a bigger pocketbook, because the township has picked up the fees now, which is in excess of $200,000, by the way.
I know we're a little bit longer, but this is such an important issue, and I want to say that the last time I spoke to Pat, your husband, he said something that just shook me, and he said, Sussex County is the last frontier.
That's right.
And that is correct. People are coming, it's not just Vernon that is dumping. We have Lafayette, we have Freedom, we have Montague, we have Wantage, and I hear that Andover, it's just started in Andover and Sparta as a commercial situation.
Green.
And this legislation is going to help that, but it really is up to the citizens that are, the residents that are living in these towns to get to your mayor and council and say, hey, we've got legal dumping going on and we want it stopped.
Right.
And we'll do everything that we can to stand with you, but it's a joint effort for all of us to say, not in Sussex County.
Right.
And that's what this meeting is all about, that they're holding. They're inviting mayors, council members, residents, anyone who wants to come, of course, the Freeholder Board, to let everybody know that we have to watch this carefully and we have to work as a team. If it starts in Andover, then we've got to be in Andover. It starts here, we've got to be here. Because if they get away with it in Vernon or somewhere else, it's coming to your town next. We really are the last frontier. They finally found us.
Yes.
And they want to take all of their illegal
And it was
soil and
uncontrolled
contaminated soil
soil.
and dump it on property in your area, which contaminates everything over the years. So I just want to commend your group. I want to commend the two of you for 10 years of work and investigation and all the personal money that you put into this. And I think with the passage of this bill, it's going to be the start. But I think your meeting is going to be extremely important to the entire county. So I would ask people to please come. Ask your mayors and council to come. And let's have that conversation as a group.
We appreciate your supporting us on that.
Absolutely.
And oh, by the way, at the meeting, we're going to explain how we got, in 6 weeks, our town to pass an ordinance against us.
Right.
Took up until then, there was nothing on the books. But once we went to the mayor and the council and we sat down with them and worked it out, they passed an
The ordinance that you needed. Because it's a land issue, it's a local land
We had it
issue.
on the books.
Right, so your zoning
I
has
want
to
to
be in
say
place.
thank you
Yes.
for
Yeah.
bringing this to our attention and speaking.
I appreciate it.
And
I
all
appreciate
you've
it
done.
again, all that you've done to support us. So we're going to win.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? Neil's not moving, is he? All right, get motion to close the public session from the floor.
So moved.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, freeholder comments, Dawn first.
Okay. I was going to wait on this issue till we got to it, but just to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Kenny and Mr. Gettler also touched on regarding the sanctuary state item this evening. We have an unprecedented number of women and children specifically that are being introduced into sex trafficking and forced labor, organ trafficking, sex tourism, child labor. These individuals flee here to the United States seeking a better life, but it's unsafe and they're victimized because of the way they're choosing to go about coming here to the United States. However, the worst part is those who come here to wreak havoc in this country and break the law. And the fact that we have a governor and attorney general who issues us an expectation to ignore federal law and supersede with a reckless state directive defies logic. It's my belief that we need to fully cooperate with ICE so any of these undocumented individuals with criminal offenses are not let back out in any capacity. That's all I'll say about that for now.
Thank you.
To talk about some of the liaison appointments, I'll talk first about the library. Will Porter reached out to me and he wants me to remind everyone that this week is National Library Week and they'd like to encourage everyone to come and see what the Sussex County Library System has to offer. They have book clubs, early literacy programs, yoga groups. Also, if you tell them via Facebook, if you go on Facebook, what you love about the Sussex County Library System, you could win a free book. Their librarians love readers, so tell them a winning story about libraries, and you can enter until this Friday, the 12th. So please visit that office. The Sussex County Arts and Heritage Council on Sunday, May 5th, 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. They are going to be decorating Hasenki Ukrainian eggs. It was very successful in March when they did it, and they're actually having another session. They decorate using beeswax and dyes, and if you're interested in that, it's very timely for the season for eggs. So you can actually register online as well, and ages 16 and up. They're taking that. You can register online. The cost is $40 to register, and they're holding it on 133 Spring Street in Newton. If you bring an apron or old shirt and egg carton, you can take your egg home. There's another issue, and I see Doreen Edwards is here from the TIC squad. We've been in communication. I have some updates on our approach or our bringing information to the table regarding the TIC epidemic that's happening. I want to thank Karen Lavert for also bringing to my attention an assembly bill that's up regarding receiving some funding from the state for TIC education and prevention. But first, I want to talk for a minute about Pike County in Pennsylvania. Their version of freeholders, they're called county commissioners there. They actually have a task force on tick-borne disease, and they're actually at the point, they're a little ahead of us on this. They opened a tick-borne disease wellness center within the Pike Family Health Center, and they're working together to try to eliminate the impact on the community for tick-borne diseases. They actually also are hosting an event on Saturday, April 27th. It's a tick-borne disease education seminar in Kingsley, Pennsylvania, and it's a public event by Dr. Daniel Cameron. So if anybody's interested in that, perhaps I can pass this along to be posted, that we can share if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about that. But on the New Jersey front, I spoke with Assemblyman Hal Worths about this. There's a piece of legislation, Assembly Bill number 5160, that was introduced, sponsored by two, was a bipartisan bill that was introduced for consideration on March 11th. And what it does is it directs the Department of Agriculture to establish a grant program for counties to study and develop methods of tick control. And it appropriates $1 million from the general fund, so it does not increase what's already been allotted this year. There's two assemblymen, one from Monmouth County, Assemblyman Hotaling, and then Assemblyman Dancer from District 12, and Assemblyman Worths has informed me today that he's going to inquire about signing on this as a co-sponsor as well. What this does, it establishes a pilot program to provide grants to counties in the state to develop and study methods for tick control. And it'll be awarded to programs that aim to reduce the prevalence of tick-borne diseases by developing tick surveillance, management, and control methods, and by providing education, training, and pest management recommendations. And if you've been listening to me up here talking about my latest tick obsession at most meetings, you'll know that I'm learning a lot from the tick group, who also had presented here about the importance of doing tick drags, because in Pennsylvania, when they do the tick drags, they actually identify the ticks, they can send them out, and you can identify which diseases are linked with which specific areas that you may frequent, because it's not just limited to Lyme's disease any longer. The act is set to take effect immediately and will expire after a 2-year period. So being that Sussex County is rural and there's a lot of ticks here, we might not have the most people, but I might say we may have the most ticks. I think that we would be at the top of the list, quite frankly, to be able to be the beneficiary of such money. We already know that there is money allotted each year for mosquito control, and I think ticks are the new mosquitoes. So I'm going to speak with Assemblyman Worths. He told me that they'll be in full session May 1st, and hopefully he will provide an update of this, but he was entirely on board to help propel this forward, and hopefully we can get some support here in Sussex County. Also, Freeholder Hertzberg and I will be meeting with the TIC group next week, next Wednesday and Thursday, I believe. We have a meeting scheduled, which we're looking forward to learn a bit more. Also, the sheriff had a very brief update. He shared with me that the transfer of female inmates to Morris County on April 1st went smoothly without incident. He went down to meet with Sheriff Gannon and the staff to assist, and that the Morris County staff was accommodating during that transition of the female inmates. I want to also announce that Coffee with a Cop is going to be held in Franklin Borough on Thursday the 18th from 12 to 2 at Cafe Dolce in Franklin in the ShopRite Plaza. So if you're local and you'd like to go in and enjoy some coffee and meet some of our law enforcement officers in Franklin, please come and join us. And also, April is Community College Month, as Dr. Connolly had said, and they're having Community College Day next Friday, actually. Next Thursday, I apologize. Next Thursday at the college is Community College Day. And at 3 p.m. they're going to have some speakers and some light refreshments, and you can sign up for a tour at either 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. for an hour-long tour of all the facilities if you're interested in going to that. And I know I'm going to be there, so hopefully if you're interested in finding out what the college has to offer, then you join. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
I have a few things. So first I want to congratulate John Connolly, and that beautiful article that was in the New Jersey Herald this morning is really something that you've been working for with partnerships with the high schools. And this young girl Sam Vance, who's a senior at Sussex County Technical School, is a product of that partnership and benefited greatly from it. She was able to take college courses as well as high school courses at the same time. So she will get, in May, she will be getting her associate's degree in liberal arts from Sussex County Community College. And in June, she'll be receiving her high school graduation diploma. So there's a tribute to her, taking advantage of this partnership. She'll go off to Stockton University as a junior. She's already completed freshman and sophomore classes in the fall. God bless her. She's done a beautiful job, and those partnerships that you work so hard for are really making a difference in the lives of our students. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I had the opportunity April 1st to attend the Apacon Wellness Center ribbon cutting ceremony that had quite a few 501c private groups there, and it seems as if it's going to be a great success, and I want to congratulate Mayor Francis for all his hard work in getting this started. This Saturday I attended the Birth Haven Luncheon at Corona Farms, and every year this luncheon brings in one of their clients who would be a mother who was having trouble carrying on her pregnancy on her own. She would go to Birth Haven, and with the programs, with the help, she lives there for a certain amount of time. They not only enable her to have a child, but they also enable her to get a job and get housing for herself and become independent. And normally they bring a speaker back from one of their clients at this luncheon, and they tell us their story. Well, this year, not only did the mother came, but the daughter came as well. The daughter was 6 years old. She was born with a heart defect. She has a pacemaker. And so the mother told her story, and it was delightful to hear the child tell her story and how proud she was of her mother. And I have to tell you, I wish them the best, and Birth Haven is just an amazing place. The women that work there are just wonderful, and if you've never gone to Birth Haven, you should go over and knock on the door and go in, and you'll see all the pictures of all the babies all over the rooms. It's just a wonderful, wonderful group of people that work very hard to give life to these beautiful babies. Yesterday, I attended the annual seminar for the agency Partnership for Drug-Free New Jersey. And the program was presented, the program that they presented was called Drugs Don't Work in New Jersey. And it was focused on businesses and anyone who had employees. The main speaker was an attorney from Washington, D.C. named Nancy DeLogue, and she spoke on legal issues of a drug-free workplace. I couldn't even begin to tell you what that workshop was about, because there are so many legal issues that are going to be a problem with marijuana being legalized in New Jersey. And it seems that New Jersey is writing legislation that really allows no discrimination against anyone who's taking that drug, even if they have criminal records as far as selling and distributing the drug. So it's very interesting in a place where New Jersey is placing itself. But they offer, and this is very interesting, it's called Drugs Don't Work in New Jersey. This group offers a kit on all the information you need as an employer, anyone with employees, on what's going to happen about policy on drugs and everything else that you think are in place, that you think are legal, and how all of those things are going to change. And you can actually go on their website, and it's Drugs Don't Work, so it's ddw.drugfreenewjersey.org/workplace kit, and the password is DDW123. If anybody wants to see this, I'll leave it out there. You could go on there and get the whole toolkit and begin to read about how legislation is going to change, how it's going to affect the workplace. It's a very interesting read, and I'll leave that out there for anyone who wants it. Nick Louisi left, but Nick Louisi, who took the Alcohol and Drug Award, he also is the coordinator for all of our drug and alcohol alliances across the county. And he was at a conference not too long ago, and he heard about a forensic overdose review team being started in Ocean and Monmouth counties. And he gathered all the information about what that group would be doing in relation to opioid deaths. And he brought it back to the county of Sussex, and they've been discussing putting together the same type of a review team. I had the opportunity to attend a meeting of this team in Ocean County. Nick was there, Christine Florio from our Community Youth Services attended, Jerry Nyhart, the assistant prosecutor in charge of narcotics task force, Jim McDonald, our health officer, Carolyn Robert with Health and Human Services. We all went down to the Ocean County forensic team. And it was very interesting because their team is made up of a very specific group of people. The medical examiner, social service agencies, educators, EMTs, hospital representatives, and at times, if needed, the family could be called in. And this team meets about every 3 months, and what they do is they take a list of all of the people that have died from opioid overdoses, and one by one, they go through their history of service. So they can tell what services they went for, if they continued the service, if there was a drop of service, if they were in the hospital, and they can look at that history and decide if there were any gaps in what we could have offered to actually help save that person's life. The meeting was over 3 hours long, and it was very interesting to go from the initial death to all of these different agencies and to really trace back where he was and what help he did get, what help we had that he didn't get, why he didn't get it, so that we can begin to give all this information, all this correct data back to all these agencies so they can start filling in the gaps. So I know Nick is putting this team together, the prosecutor is on board, the police are on board, and hopefully soon we're going to have that group here in Sussex County. It's just one more tool in the toolbox to help fight the opioid addiction in the county. So I'm very proud of what they're doing. Thank you. I wish you was here to hear it. I'm not done. I'm not done. It's good stuff. The Attorney General gave out a grant for a new initiative in response to the opioid crisis. You can see that a lot of the work we do with Health and Human Services and the Health Department is about drugs. That's what it is. It's on top of our list. The Sussex County Prosecutor, Francis Koch, applied for the grant money. It was offered to all the counties. Not all the counties took it. We took it. And it's for an initiative called the Operating Helping Hands Initiative Grant. So the grant is being led by Sussex County's Prosecutor's Office in cooperation with the Sussex County CLEAR program. Our CLEAR program is a recovery program, and supported by the Sussex County Police Chiefs Association and the Center for Prevention. And the Sussex County Operation Helping Hand was launched on March 13, 2019, just a few weeks ago. So the police have been going out in the community and visiting people who might be struggling with a substance abuse disorder. They actually knock on the door, and the police are there with a recovery coach. And they go in and they talk to people about caring about them and what type of services they have and how you can work with a recovery coach to get into recovery. And they just started this program, and already they have wonderful results. People are touched, first of all, that anyone even cares, especially that a police officer is there. And that's the beauty of the CLEAR program, is that the police show and work in a different way than you're used to having them as enforcers. They're not working as enforcers. They're not arresting anybody. This policeman is knocking on the door saying, I care about you. I know you have a problem. Let me tell you how we can help you. So people are just amazed that they would even care and come to the door. And so what's happening is that these people are calling the CLEAR number and they're getting connected to the recovery coaches. So I often say, how do we get the information out to the public so that the people that need it know we have it? And here they are knocking on the doors. It couldn't be more personal. So if you want to applaud, you can applaud our police department and our recovery coaches. This is all on their time for doing this and really caring and showing that they care to these people and trying to help. I think I had one more, but you know what, I'll skip it because I know I went a long time.
Josh?
Yes. First, I want to publicly thank all the police departments who are helping out with the Cranley Cruiser. I don't think people realize how unique it is to have a community that pulls together like we have and does things like this. And talking about taxes and some of the issues we have, the fact that we have local families willing to give their own money, police departments willing to donate their time, because this would be coming out of the taxpayers' pockets if it wasn't coming out of the generosity of others. So I want to thank the groups and the families that donate all their time and money to do things like this. Me and Dawn had the opportunity to go to the annual New Jersey Outdoorsman Association game dinner, where they honored Chris Christie and celebrated outdoorsmen and a lot of the activities that we love here in Sussex County. a great group who does a lot of work to protect our rights. So I wanted to thank them. North Village, the new project going out on Route 15, the developer approached us and wanted to engage the community, so we're going to be setting up a meeting with the VOTEC to have some of the kids maybe work on some of the art and some of the stuff they're going to use to decorate so they can be part of the project, which I thought was pretty nice. One more thing before I get into the last thing. I also want to commend Frankfurt. I understand that they were putting forth a resolution to preemptively address dumping like some of the other towns have talked about doing, like Vernon has done. So I believe they introduced that at their last meeting. And last but certainly not least is our immigration issue that we talked about. Obviously we have no ability and no rights when it comes to that as freeholders, but what we can do and what we are going to do, as you see in the agenda, is put a question on the ballot to let you voice your opinion as residents. It is something that's a little near and dear to my heart. I started out my career as a Border Patrol agent out on the border. I saw this stuff firsthand. I was lucky enough, it was good timing, I guess. Freeholder Fantasia found an article today about a gentleman who was arrested for molesting a child, was put in jail, was released, and found, I believe, 2 hours later in that family's home, hiding in the basement. This is the reason. Now, let me tell you, I was on the border. I dealt with these people every day. Some of them were great people. Some of them just really wanted a better life. But I didn't get to make that decision. I had to do what the law told me to do. And if you broke the law, I had to do my job. And that's what we're asking our politicians to do, is to follow the law and stop making arbitrary decisions that you're forcing on us. The law says if you are illegally here in our country and you go to jail for a crime, that you are to be deported. That is what the law says. And that is what they are trying to convince us to not let happen. So, you know, as we'll get into later, you'll see the question will be there. You will have your ability to voice your opinion when it's on the ballot. That's all I have here.
Bless you all.
Okay.
Okay, I said I forgot something, and that's exactly what I wanted to speak on, so I'm going to take a few minutes. I remember years ago when my young son was looking through a box of pictures and he came across a passport, and it was my mother's passport. And he brought it to me, and he says, "Mom, look at this. Who is this?" I said, "That's Grandma." And he said, "She looks like an immigrant." I said, "She was an immigrant." And we sat down and we had that conversation. My mother came over from Italy at 13, and her father came to Italy 6 years prior to that with $13 in his pocket. He was a mason. He worked in New York, and he helped build the one of the tunnels, Lincoln Tunnel. And when he had money, he sent for my mother and for the 7 children, and they came over. And I often think of that story and think of all that they went to really follow the laws of the United States, because they respected the laws and they respected the United States of America. And they came over for a better life. And because they came over legally and they had a job and he had money and a place for them to live, it worked, and it worked beautifully. We have laws in our country to keep order. And in a society, if you don't have order and laws, and you want to go against those laws and not follow them, you have chaos. Nothing and no one benefits from chaos, and that's what's happening. You see it at the border. You see it in the things that Joshua was just saying. There are people that legitimately want to come here for a better life, but that's not how you do it. If you don't respect the laws of the United States, you don't respect the United States of America. And another story I'm just going to tell was my grandmother, my other grandmother, my father's side, who also came from Italy. And when I was older, I was about 5 or 6 years old, we decided to go back to Italy and take my grandmother with her. Well, she wouldn't speak Italian. She would only speak her broken English, and believe me, it was broken. But she wanted to show people that she was from America and the pride that she had for this country. And that's what's missing. Now people are trying to bully their way into a country with no respect for our laws, and when they get here, no respect for anything else. So for all of those reasons, we should not be a sanctuary state, that's for sure.
What can the average citizen in New Jersey do to prevent it?
Well, we're doing weekend, Joe. We want to see if we can get
What
it
do
on
we
the
do?
ballot.
You can, when this is passed tonight, this will be on the ballot. Make sure that you let your belief be known by voting and letting the governor know.
Start writing letters, start a campaign.
Where do we send these letters to?
To the governor's
The
office.
governor's office. Anything else?
I'm sorry, I'm fine.
I'm
done.
I will be brief. As far as ticks earlier, I started off the season with a tick bite, ended up in the hospital, so I am not the hospital, the doctors, but the ticks are here, and all I did was walk into a spot, a little bit of high grass, and so please be careful. It is bad. Do a little bit of a quarterly report with some activities. Just some highlights. We did 160 resolutions. The first quarter we had 9 meetings, including 2 special meetings, joint meeting with Bern and SCUMA regarding Mountain Creek. There were 160 resolutions adopted, 3 ordinances, 18 proclamations, 32 agreements of contracts. I can go on with more, but just want to talk about some of the things we're doing. We had resolutions opposing local mandates. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we go through this. Local mandates, and I have a report, and I'll talk about it. Human trafficking, we did that. A lobby for continuing the library material share service, and established a pilot program for municipal liaisons. The appointment of Howard Burrell, which took a life on its own. It was when you go through the process, things the way we're supposed to do things, that good things happen, I guess. 11 presentations. We just had another one. We'll add that to our list. Our budget will be produced on the 24th. We established a committee to review the county and amend the county administrative code, and we are just waiting for some finishing documents from the offices. Now, I was at the planning board meeting, and we're talking about taxes in Sussex County. We have to provide a service like any other county for our residents, because 72% of the county is owned or managed or is somewhat controlled by the state of New Jersey or the federal government. We're left with that little piece of the pie that maybe 24% of the county to generate income to run things. So the DEP, in its infinite wisdom, has come up with something new. It's called C1 Lake. Has anyone heard about that?
I brought it to your attention a couple of meetings ago.
Yes, you did. Well, the
You
C1
did.
stream, okay, but the C1 stream program will affect approximately 10,200 acres of buffer.
85 square miles.
There we go. So, and we also have a situation that a lake that feeds into one of these streams also gets recategorized as a C1. So that'll mean a total of 600 feet on each side of the stream and each side of the lake. And when you brought it up to us, you were talking about the roads. I think we were talking about the roads. I didn't quite, I have to be honest with you, I wasn't quite understanding it. But I have to tell you, this thing is based on no science. No science. And so our engineer is going to do a report for the freeholders so that we can have an idea of the major impact on this. And I'm hoping the board will take a position that will send a resolution down to the state and to our senators and assemblymen. So this is a major impact on our county, and it just really will devastate development, and it will devastate houses and businesses in the county.
Property values.
Pardon me?
Property values.
Major impact. And it's really a taking of land without anybody paying for it. So, It is the Highlands Council. And there's always the Highlands Council, there was a promise of money which we didn't get. So I think this is a big issue that I wanted to bring forward to the public and to the board. I did have an opportunity to speak to Bill Curcio, who is the chairman of the board at the college. There have been some issues with Oprah, and he just wanted the board to know, Counselor, if I go step out over what I'm supposed to, but they're going to be re-looking at some of the issues they have with Oprah to provide more information that people have been asking for. So that's a discussion, and he said, feel free to say that, let people know they're going to re-look at some of those things. That's all I really wanted to say. Thank you. We're going to move on. Okay. Can I get approval of the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Just one moment.
You want-
I just need to make a statement.
Go ahead, read the statement, go ahead.
The Board of Chosen
Jump in.
Freeholders of the County of Sussex has reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that adoption of the said resolutions is in and will further the public interest. If any freeholder would like to remove the item to be considered separately, please do so now.
Okay. Seeing none, motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Approval of the minutes, motion to approve the minutes, regular meeting March 27th, 2019.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Executive session minutes, March 27th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have appointments and the resignation. Appointment of Dr. William Turan. Glad you're here. We're going to swear you in. Sussex County Historian for a term expiring December 31st, 2021. So I believe we need a motion to approve him.
You can do both resolutions.
Both
if you'd
resolutions,
like,
same
with one
time?
motion.
What'd you say? Right there.
I didn't see you.
And a resolution amending, resolution dated March 18, titled Appointment of Valerie Estacado as Purchasing Agent in and for the County of Sussex for a term of 3 years pursuant to NJSA 40A:9-30. Do I have a motion to both A and B? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Bill, come on up.
I need the county council to administer the oath, so.
Good. Okay. He's gonna be surprised when we go, probably won't be there.
Do you have a Bible?
I have it.
She has it, she has it.
See you later. Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Can we need counsel? Can I give you that oath?
Bill, can you say your last name? Is it Shorin?
Yes.
Shorin. Shorin.
Shorin. And he's a PhD and he has a lot of information on Sussex County. Pardon?
I can administer.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm sorry, I'm sort of trapped
Why
back
not come on,
here.
why not come out?
So if you would just
No,
step
no,
up.
why don't you walk around? Do it out there. Need a photographer?
So, well, let's see how we'll do this. Raise your right hand. Okay. I state your name.
I, William Truran,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of County Historian
of the office of County Historian
to fulfill a 3-year term,
to fulfill a 3-year term,
said term to expire December 31st, 2021,
December 31st, 2021,
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Name and address and sign county council business.
Just hope that I'll do a good job for the county. Excellent county. I'm glad that I'm a lifetime resident here, and I hope the best for it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And we'll be looking forward, we'll schedule you in after you've been in a while for a little presentation. Come tell us what's some interesting history.
What's old in the
Good, good luck.
It's new. I'm old in the county. Sure. Resolutions. Yeah.
Thanks. Good,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, read it.
And the other one too.
Did that one, that one also, did I read it?
Oh, yeah, you read the name.
I didn't. Okay, okay. That's
You
what
have to do B separately from A, salaries to cover.
No, you did a motion for both A and B.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a resolution? Okay, do resolutions together from A to E. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I, yeah,
What?
can I?
Well, all right, we're gonna pull D and E out, so I need a motion for A to C.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Guys have it. D, resolution, reading the 2019 pilot program, Freeholder Municipal Liaison Assignments. Do I have a motion to adopt? No one up discussion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
I would like to just say that I know it was a little bit, I can't say a long time coming, it's only been a few months, but I'm glad that this is actually on here. You know, when I was running and when I was a municipal representative on the council president in Franklin, I was interested in having more involvement from the county, and that doesn't mean that the county wasn't present with services. What it meant was I was looking for a face. I was looking for somebody that we knew we could pick up the phone and call for just a variety of issues at any given time, and that you would have a point person. So Josh and I had discussed this at length during our campaign, and I'm glad to see it come to fruition, that you know, we're doing this pilot program, that we are assigned specific towns to be able to visit and form relationships with these towns and with their mayors and with their council and committee members. I think it's going to go a long way to bridge that gap between the county and the municipalities and those that are elected to represent them. And I just want to give the rundown as to, on this resolution, as to who is assigned to which towns. Freeholder Hertzberg is Sparta, Branchville, Frankfurt, Lafayette, and Sussex. Freeholder Director Yardley is Stillwater, Newton, Freedom, Hampton, and Walpack. Deputy Director Patillo, Wapakcom, Andover Borough, Andover Township, and Green. Freeholder Graham, Stanhope, Byram, Montague, Sandyston, and Wantage. And I'm assigned to Franklin, Hardiston, Hamburg, Ogdensburg, and Vernon. So looking forward to attending some of those meetings of their councils and speaking with their representatives, and hope to have some good relationships moving forward.
Okay. The next resolution, authorizing the placement of a public question on the official ballot for the general election on November 5th, 2019, concerning a qualified voter's opportunity to instruct their government with regards to the sanctuary state policy of the governor of the state of New York. A second?
Second.
Discussion? Well, I think that everyone has spoken on this so far. I think the public needs to let their feelings be known on this issue, and you have that opportunity come this November. And I think we will forward this resolution to all the other 20, I want to say 21 counties, but we are one of them. All the other counties, and we will forward, they'll have a copy of this, so I think we are the first county to do this, I believe. So you have that opportunity to come this November to exercise your right to send a message. Anyone else wish to comment? Seeing none?
I just want to point out that for D and E,
Okay, hold
I
on,
spoke,
we need
I
to
spoke
vote.
about D, and then we spoke about E, so when we vote, I assume we are voting for D and E.
Would you like to read this so people know what's on this? The sanctuary state?
For the benefit of the public, the resolution specifically states for the sanctuary state resolution rate authorizing the placement of a public question on the official ballot for the general election on November 5th, 2019, in opposition to the sanctuary state policy of the governor of the state of New Jersey. Whereas the governor of the state of New Jersey has made it his policy to embrace and promote the sanctuary state movement, which directs county and local law enforcement to ignore federal law with regards to undocumented immigrants residing in the United States illegally. And whereas the governor of the state of New Jersey has stated that neither he nor his agents will cooperate with federal agencies in the enforcement of laws designed to protect the citizens of the United States from those here illegally who would violate our laws and endanger our citizens. And whereas the actions of the governor will create less secure and more porous borders, thereby diminishing the security of the United States and its citizens, and allowing the growth and protection of such illegal activities, the trafficking in illegal narcotics, including opioids, the trafficking in illegal firearms, and in human trafficking, modern slavery, especially the trafficking of women and children for sexual exploitation. Whereas this policy by the governor of the state of New Jersey and his agents threatens the peace and security of the citizens of the United States of America and the state of New Jersey and the residents of the county of Sussex. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the county of Sussex as follows. Number 1, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex hereby requests the Sussex County Clerk to print on the official ballot to be used in the general election to be held on November 2019 the following public question on which the qualified voters of the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, will have the opportunity to express their opinion and to instruct their government with regard to the policy of the Governor of the State of New Jersey above. The question will state, the voters of Sussex County, State of New Jersey, direct the Sheriff of Sussex County and his office to obey the duly enacted laws of the United States of America and all agencies of the federal government with regard to undocumented migrants illegally residing in the United States of America, and to further instruct the Sheriff of Sussex County and his office to ignore directives from state officers and agencies that would undermine federal law in this regard. And there's a space for the voter to select yes or no. And then there's some legalese that follows for that. But just that to get the idea, the resolution will authorize the placement of this question on the November 5th ballot.
So, need a motion for both D and E?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
A voice vote would be sufficient, unless you want a roll call.
I think we need a roll call, so it will be represented on the,
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director York?
yes. Okay, we need awards of contracts, A, B, and C. You want to read the next one?
The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex have reviewed the award of contract, change orders, bids, consisting of various proposed resolutions, and determined that adoption of the said resolutions is in and will further the public interest. If any freeholder would like to remove an item to be considered separately, please do so now.
Okay, anyone? A motion to adopt contracts A to C?
So moved. Second?
Okay, roll call?
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Payment of the bills, resolution A, and the bill list, Freeholder Patillo abstained, April 10th, 2019. Second. Roll call?
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Abstain.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Motion approved bill list B, April 10th, 2019. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call?
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Introduction, first reading, bond ordinance 2019-04.
Bond ordinance providing for the undertaking of 2019 capital improvements and for the certain facilities of Sussex County Community College located within the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3 million bonds or notes of the County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, the principal of and interest on the aggregate principal amount of which will be entitled to state aid pursuant to Chapter 12 of the laws of New Jersey of 1971.
Okay. Motion to introduce this ordinance on first reading.
So moved. Second?
Roll call?
Freeholder Fantasia?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Yardley?
Yes. Motion to authorize the clerk to advertise this ordinance as introduced at first reading and also posted on the bulletin board in the lobby of the County Administrative Center, together with a notice of public hearing, stating that hearing will be held on March 27, 2019.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, that's a typo.
April.
April 24th.
April 24th.
April 24th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. 2019 at 7 p.m. prior to a final adoption of this ordinance. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, we need a motion.
Motion, and a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any personnel issues?
No personnel agenda this evening.
Administrators report?
Yes, Freehold Director, as you mentioned, memo has been sent out to county administrators and constitutional officers requesting input on the administrative code. Once those responses are received, they will be incorporated into a single document for use by the board's appointed subcommittee. The Division of Facilities has completed renovations to the county clerk's office at the Cochran House. The office has moved back in. They're open for business now. And I had the opportunity this morning to tour the newly renovated office with County Clerk Jeff Parrott. I'd like to recognize our employees, Ron Birchenoff and Randy Kays, who took the lead on this project, and really it's a testament to the quality of employees that we have here in the county, and encourage everyone to have a chance to go over and visit the county clerk's office. They did an exceptional job and should be recognized for a job well done. The trustee search committee has concluded its interviews of interested applicants and has recommended the reappointment of Mary Ann Fox and the appointment of Elizabeth J. Brown to the Board of Trustees. The chosen freeholders will be asked to consider these appointments at their April 24th meeting, and that concludes my report.
Okay, council, I would like to have the protocol for the freeholder board in regards to freeholders having the ability to either interview or speak to these individuals. What is the protocol? I'd like to have that done and given to the rest of the freeholder board.
Next meeting?
No, you can do, I'd like it before the next meeting, because if we're going to have these people approved at the next meeting, it needs to be done prior to. I just really...
Right.
Why am I asking this? I'm asking this so that everyone knows what the procedure is. Because, so are we going to be asked to vote? This is the recommendation, and if it is that we just vote yes or no, that's fine. If it is that we have the opportunity to talk to people, that's fine too. I just want everyone to know what the rules are, because sometimes there's confusion over that.
At the very least, maybe we could ask that the committee give us a written report explaining why the recommendation.
I think I don't want to do that. I really would like to know that if we're asking to vote on someone, what's the law in regards to that?
Yeah, but I'm voting on a name.
Based on the recommendation.
Right.
Okay. So.
Right now, we're flying blind. We get a name, and
We
they
like the
say
name
yes
we
or
vote
no.
on.
And the other, this is going to become more of an issue, but the question is, we're asked to vote based on the recommendation, and that's fine, if that's what the law says. I just want to know, if Neil was, can I use your name, Neil, would you mind? Okay. If someone said, hey, we'll put Neil on the board, okay, can I say, hey, call Neil and say, hey, Neil, can I just, congratulations, how's everything, and how do you feel about it? What's new? Whatever I wanted to ask without interfering. Is there communication regards to that, or does the law say, hey, we vote yes or no based on the recommendation? I'd like to, so that future board members up here don't get into a situation where we're saying, well, I'd like to know who that is, I want to talk to that. Or somebody asked me, well, how come that person got on there, was recommended by the board, why didn't you say something? I just want to know what the process is.
No, I think that's good, because I certainly don't think the process is you vote on a name without having the ability to inquire more about it. I certainly don't think that is, that you're legally barred from asking questions.
Look, we're running the risk, though, dare I say, of, so we approve the committee, the search committee for the trustees, right? So that is their role.
That's
so
great.
Our role is to do that. However, I think in that recommendation process, embedded in that, not necessarily that we have to sit with all the candidates that have been recommended by the people who we appointed to begin with to recommend them. It just seems micromanaging and superfluous. What I would like to see is some justification, not a first name and a last name will be recommended to the board. Recommended again, as Josh said, on what basis, on what merit. I think the key comes in the recommendation write-up from that board as to why they selected perhaps that individual's resume or CV or whatever, just to say, this is who we selected and these are the reasons why. I don't want to take away from that role myself. We appointed individuals, or approved appointments of individuals to be that search committee. So now what we want to do is take it and then say, oh, but I still want to interview them myself. It's redundant. I think it's very redundant.
Well, way I look at it is, how do I, if I vote no, and someone says, why'd you vote no? I haven't had the opportunity to know. So I'm just looking for clarification on this issue. So I'm going to ask that we get some clarification as to, what is the process so that the board knows this really matters. This is the process, and maybe the thing is we would say, hey, what, what's the process? And just, that's all I'm asking. What is the process?
That's good.
Okay? So let me move on. Public session from the floor. No? Oh, county council.
Oh, I'm trying to skip you.
Trying to skip county council, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to skip myself, but, maybe under either the report I would give or unfinished business, we could have
Yeah.
somebody.
I was just going to recommend a resolution for next meeting authorizing a retainer agreement with the law firm to represent the county in the opioid-related litigation, which holds the defendants responsible for their actions. And then we can consider and discuss that resolution at the next meeting.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for you to prepare that for the next meeting, all right?
A resolution to authorize
Yeah.
the retainer agreement.
I think we should clarify, because there was discussion about it, that the ability to do further investigation and find out cost reward, benefits of doing it and what the cost could be, have to be done after you sign up, but you can pull out without any cost. So the next step is when we find out if this is really going to be worth our time.
So I would ask that you do that for the next meeting.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else?
Not for me, no. Thanks.
Unfinished business. New business. Getting closer. Public session from the floor.
Everyone is asked to keep their comments to 5 minutes. Please state your name and print your name and municipality on the sign-in sheet, and please speak loud and clear.
Okay, do we have a motion to open the floor for public comment?
So, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Open to the floor. Anyone wish to address the board?
Oh,
Oh, we have someone coming up. Come on, Mr. Getler.
I'll
I
go-
saw
no,
Mr.
you
Getler.
go follow me. I can follow
Neil,
you.
I saw
Follow
Mr.
me.
Getler first.
I think
Come on, come on, I can follow them all day.
Go ahead.
Just a question, really just a comment I want to make, I'll be trying to be brief. One of the women asked, what can I do about this illegal situation? Well, there is a thing called E-Verify, and a lot of people choose not to use it. And one of the things that I find, and it's like, I'm not necessarily going to restaurants, I'm not necessarily employing gardening people or anything else. When you show up and everybody's speaking Mexicano, and I'm not against Mexicans personally, but they're here illegally, they are tax takers, some of them are taxpayers. As an individual responsibility, I choose not to do business with you. If you're going to bring those people to work, maybe they're the people that want to work, I understand that. I choose not to do business with you until I know it's going to work. Legally here, paying their taxes and doing their just due. That's on an individual note. There's an old saying about death by 1,000 cuts. And I wanted to talk briefly about, you mentioned C1. I didn't wear my tinfoil hat, I don't have my right wing hat on, but C1 is a slippery slope of the Agenda 21 and Agenda 30 United Nations programs to move more and more people into massive urban centers and to split people out in the areas. And it's all about control. It is about one world government and manipulation of people. And when people say, oh, that's never going to happen, I don't see that happening. Well, nobody thought the educational system put down the tools when they introduced Common Core. And nobody really did the research on what was done with Common Core. And quickly, when they were two parts that they brought in were first the math and the English. And when the people who put Common Core together, they only had 2 people out of a committee of like 29. There were only 2 people on that committee that were educators. The The guy who was in charge of math was the head guy at Stanford University, and he said, this isn't mathematics, this is hocus pocus. He resigned. And the woman who at the time, and I'm sorry I don't have the names of that, who was at the time the head of the English development curriculum for the state of Massachusetts, which had the best English curriculum in the 50 states, i.e. the world, she also resigned based upon what they were putting into the curriculums, Common Core, the rules of Common Core. And then what they did was they had all these business people and people who want to make money and people who do have a strict socialist agenda, which we look at people who controlling the sales of the books and the production of the books and how they absorb these book companies and they're filtering their stuff in. And their agenda is to dumb down and to lie by omission. So when they said, well, this passed unanimously, all 25 people voted unanimously for it. They forgot to say that 4 people resigned from the committee. So it's not a unanimous vote if you really look at the committee in its totality. And that's the kind of game they play. So they attack you on the one front, educationally, which, whether it was Mao or whoever the hell said it, once we get the young generation, we'll get them, And the founding fathers said, we are at any given time in this country one generation away from losing what we have. And I think that now more than ever is an issue because the laws are being looked aside. I applaud the board of freeholders for putting forth this non-sanctuary state thing because at the end of the day, it is about money, it is about attacking people from different angles and overwhelming the individual. We see this in Britain, we see this in what happened in the EU, where the countries are just being overrun. There is an agenda which is bigger than this county, this state, this country, and it's a globalist agenda, and we are well on that slippery slope, and anything we can do to stop that needs to be done on whatever level it is. And I said before, I'm 70, I think it's great, I'll make 70, maybe I'll make 71, maybe I'll make 91, I don't know. But I have a 6-year-old grandson who is going to suffer under the yoke of this stuff. And when you say it can't happen, and you have people in the United States House of Representatives that's flippantly they say, well, some people did something on 9/11 because they have another agenda. Or you have a bona fide moron who auditioned for the role of Congresswoman who doesn't know one thing from another on her anatomy, is making these comments and comes out with an agenda that she doesn't even know about. So we have to be ever vigilant if we intend to keep not only our country, but also on a local level. So just, I want to voice that. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
It may go over your 5 minutes. I have 2 items I want to discuss, and 2 things came up tonight. As far as burning for soil, as soon as they made it hot in Vernon, the trucks started going up Gemma Road in Warrenage into New York State and dumping in New York State. I made a number of phone calls to people in New Jersey and people in New York State, and suddenly after a couple of days the truck stopped. Nobody got back to me as to who stopped them, so I don't know who to give credit to.
I believe he was already dumping in New York, and he had a large fine levied from New York, so that might have been what stopped him.
No, that was totally other area. This was a new site.
Oh, new site? He's got a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know who's correct. Second item, as far as ticks, my record is 24 at one time.
You have the record then.
I'm not saying I have the record. I'm saying my personal record is 24. Thanks to the ticks, to some old tuberculosis medications they find are now fighting the tick-borne diseases, I'm standing here tonight with a new kit. They can't say I'm cured. The only test to determine if I'm cured can only be done in your autopsy, and so far I haven't reached that. The 2 items I wanted to discuss is C1. It's wonderful. My wife and I drove the 100 miles, exactly 100 miles when we parked in the parking lot. We were the only property owners affected by this to show up at the meeting. Other than state employees, everyone there was from a fishing group or conservation group or something, except for 2 attorneys. One representing the an MUA, Raritan Township MUA, another attorney representing the building group. Even though we were the first ones at the meeting, we got to speak with it, Jeff. I pointed out to him I do know about 2 of the rivers. I grew up in Belleville on the Passaic River. So I know about 2 of the rivers. And I now have an organic farm. But now they're attacking me. The far end of my small farm is Rutgers Creek. Now, they claim they give all kinds of great science. This is their recommended changes. Rutgers Creek, the department is proposing Category 1 designation for all tributaries of Rutgers Creek based on the exceptional ecological significance as these waters support an exceptional aquatic community as the applicable data is summarized below in Table E. Then you go to Table E. Fish habitat, not applicable. Water quality, not supported. With this data, we're going to get a 300-foot encroachment on each side of that stream. Stream comes partially out of High Point, flows through some private property, comes across Kemmer Road, my property, then it's into federal and state land, and it goes into New York State. Now, one group after another got up and complimented the state on their great scientific work in this study. When I got up, I asked them, read the information I just read. This stream dries up totally, 2 to 3 months a year. It doesn't support anything.
1 minute.
It's a dry bed of rocks. Now the attorney, several of the attorneys have asked for an extension, etc. I did get from one of the attorneys a copy of his submittal. If you want, you can copy it. They're contesting the study wasn't done properly, and they're asking for it either to be thrown out or a 90-day delay on it. They have promised to send me more information. So as they said, if you want, you can.
I'd like a copy.
That's what I could
Get a copy.
I came here early, I thought I'd have time to read. I only brought along to read because it's information you should have. Then a quick item, we keep hearing about savings in the sheriff's department, $2 million. You go through your budgets. Last year, the sheriff spent $15,407,000. This year, his budget is $17,471. That's an increase of over $2 million, not a cut. That's 13.4%. When I was an engineering manager, I couldn't, extend my budgets 13-14%. I was lucky if I got the same money the following year. That $2 million will eliminate your tax increase.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
And if you want a copy of this letter after the meeting.
Yeah, we'll be shortly closing. Anyone else wish to address the board? Come on up.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to say thank you on behalf of many people who came here tonight. My name is William Hayden Frankfurt, for the resolution on the sanctuary state thing. It's a big issue with a lot of us, and it worries a lot of people. So thank you for taking that up.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Mr. Godley, if I may, there's some
Wait a minute, first question, does anyone else wish to address the board?
I want to accept your nomination to the trustee, and I will not give you my tax returns, just want you to know that. Thank you for the nomination.
We don't want them.
We're gonna have hearings on you and your taxes.
You sound like a cop.
Go ahead.
It took me longer to write that down than what I'm going to take to speak. It's my first visit here, and I have
We have
no
your
intention.
name?
I'm sorry, Keith Kim Povacon.
Okay.
I have no intention of speaking tonight, but the main reason I came was to support the sanctuary state resolution. And I'm sitting there and I realized nobody knows that except my wife, me, and maybe a couple other people here. So I just wanted to thank you for what you're doing with that resolution. And I wanted to ask you, are you going to be sharing that the resolution soon with the other counties?
Yes.
To allow them to go back to their... Right.
Our clerk will send a copy of that to all of the, I keep saying 21 counties, right?
There's a distribution reference
So-
in the
It should go to the
resolution.
municipalities as well. No, it should go to the municipalities as well as the counties. There's no reason why they wouldn't pick up that resolution.
Well, let's get it out to the counties and then we'll go send it to the counties. But I think it's to get that out quickly to the other counties.
Okay, these go
I
to
think,
municipalities, and so go to PACOM, go to Mike and ask them to fill.
And I think that we made the first step. I know that there's other counties that are trying to decide. I think maybe this will help them decide.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else wish to address the board? Seeing none, we're going to close the public session. Motion to close.
Second.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Adjournment? All in favor? Motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. All right.